Good everyone. Today we will be looking at Fonterra's strategic shift in response to growing climate concerns and government regulation. In July 2023, the New Zealand government committed $90 million to help Fonterra stop using coal at 6 of its manufacturing sites. This funding supports a broader strategy to reduce emissions and improve environmental performance. For background, Fonterra is a multinational dairy cooperative and New Zealand's largest exporter, responsible for around 25% of the country's export and owned by over 10,000 farmers. The company exports to more than 130 countries. However, Fonterra is also one of the country's biggest emitters, producing 12.8 million tons of carbon emissions in 2023. Much of this comes from coal-powered operations. Externally, this move is influenced by New Zealand's climate commitments. Under the Paris Agreement, the country aims to cut emissions by 50% below 2005 levels by 2030. Domestic legislation also targets net zero emissions by 2050. The Fonterra Partnership is expected to contribute over 2% of the country's required reductions between 2026 and 2030. Internally, Fonterra has committed to ending coal use by 2037. It has already shifted several sites to renewable sources like wood biomass. These changes help reduce exposure to carbon costs and position Fonterra more competitively in the global market.
The first pro of Frontiera's new strategy is related to the environmental category from the PSTL framework. This project is projected to reduce carbon emission by 2.1 million tons. This relatively contributes to SDG 13 climate action, as supported by IPCC, who state that industrial decarbonization is key to climate mitigation. Another pro relating to the PSTL framework is in terms of the political category, as this strategy is wary of the New Zealand government constant change to climate policy with differing governments, as supported by BUI and developers. Another pro relates to opportunity from a SWOT analysis, as sustainability become a key differentiator between business. This strategy positions Fonterra as a responsible expert. Coulter et al. Suggests that global forum adopting sustainable practice improve global loyalty and recognition, supporting SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production. A massive core of Fonterra's strategy is supply chain disruption, a disruption from the bargaining power of suppliers from Porter's five force. Resourcing enough renewable energy could be challenging for Fonterra, which may cause delay and frustration for consumers. Garif support that transitioning supply chain to be sustainable introduce new vulnerability, which may be a threat to the company's reputation, a trade-off to be recognized. Another crone of Fonterra's strategy may be capability gaps, as Fonterra doesn't have much history in energy renovation. Fonterra may lack expertise on the subject, which, as supported by Hart Dower, may cause underperformance, as it is crucial for firm core competitiveness to ally with strategy.
Fonterra's sustainability and corporate responsibility strategy shows both promise and shortcomings when analyzed through key business responsibility frameworks. Using stakeholder theory, CSR strategy models, and ESG performance indicators, we can access the strengths and weaknesses of the company's current approach. Additionally, Fonterra's efforts contribute meaningfully to several Sustainability Development Goals (SDGs), particularly those related to climate actions and responsible consumption. A major strength of Fonterra's strategy lies in its alignment with stakeholder theory. The company naturally includes its farmer owners, employees, and communities in its decision-making process. This inclusive approach supports the idea that business should operate in the interest of all stakeholders, not only shareholders. Such a model can enhance trust and strengthen stakeholder relationships, providing long-term advantage in reputation and employee commitment. Frontera's engagement with community programs, including school milk and nutrition education, also ties into SDG 2, Zero Hunger, and SDG 3, Good Health and Well-being. These initiatives reflect a broader sense of social responsibility, emphasizing the importance of businesses improving the quality of life for people in their communities. However, Frontera's strategy is not without flaws. The company has previously demonstrated signs of corporate social irresponsibility, CSI, particularly around environmental issues. High-profile incidents such as water pollution linked to dairy farming and post-contamination scares have undermined public trust. These cases reveal a reactive or even defensive strategy where problems are only addressed after they become public or face regulatory pressure. This is inconsistent with best practices in CSR and suggests that while Frontera is improving, it still has work to do in building a fully responsible and transparent brand. In terms of ESG, Frontera shows mixed performance. Social and governance aspects have improved through stronger community engagement and reporting practices. Yet, environmental performance remains a challenge. Despite making progress, the company's reliance on traditional dairy farming makes it difficult to meet more ambitious sustainability benchmarks. Critics argue that changes are too slow to meet targets under SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, and SDG 15, life on land, especially in regard to water pollution and land use. In conclusion, Frontera's strategy displays both pros and cons when examined through stakeholder theory, CSR strategy models, and ESG metrics. The company has made clear efforts to become more proactive and socially engaged, contributing to several SDGs including climate action, zero hunger, and good health. Still, to fully align with these goals and modern sustainability standards, Frontera must accelerate in its environmental reforms and continue evolving toward transparency and long-term stakeholder value.
Frontera's $790 million roadmap, which helped by the $90 million GIDI grant, combines large-scale, broad scope, and high speed, giving the textbook first-mover edge in low-carbon dairy processing. According to entry time theory, this leap can lock in scarce engineering talent, secure grain premium export, and embed learning curve cost advantage before rivals follow. At the same time, the firm behaves like a fast follower by copying the technology mix proven at any scale, thus lowering pioneer risk. Strategically, the program also reconfigures value activities, which strengthens differentiation while shaving long-run energy costs, an elegant blend of cost leadership and differentiation. On the other hand, there are disadvantages of the strategy. By using large sum of cash into one big project puts all the eggs in one basket. If cost blow or biomass fuel became pricey, Frontera could potentially face a situation with low running cash. From the liabilities point, Frontera still faces outsidership in emerging biomass supply chains and potential country of origin skepticism if New Zealand's wider agriculture emissions remain high. Having different entry modes helps spread and decrease these risks. Exporting powders sustains revenue. Biomass supply alliance spreads more exposure, and joint ventures like Dairy Partners American will share technology costs. Most importantly, this strategy achieves several sustainable development goals, decreasing the usage on coal aligned with SDG 13, climate action by decreases 2.1 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, changing to renewable heat energy aligns with SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and by using greener practices in the global dairy chain, Frontera contributes to SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. If this strategy is used well, this project can therefore deliver competitive advantage and measurable progress on 3 UN goals, illustrating how strategic entries, decisions, and sustainability targets can be mutually reinforcing.
A positive side to Frontera's adapted strategy in response to climate change is the company's value creation in response to consumer demand for environmentally friendly dairy consumption and production. This creates a differentiation strategy for Fonterra, as sustainability contribution often justifies premium pricing for consumers, as supported by PwC 2023, which states that businesses may demand a green premium for sustainability initiatives. This positively contributes to SDG 12, Sustainable Consumption and Production, as Fonterra emits less carbon and consumers consume greener products. On the negative side, Fonterra may face accusations of greenwashing if sustainability changes are not obvious, which is supported by Suki and Solomon 2023, significantly impacts a business's operations in the long term due to eroded consumer trust. Value configuration is also relevant in Fonterra's new strategy. A positive is that Fonterra's contribution to green energy demonstrates reconfiguration of value-creating activities, which will achieve economies of learning. International Energy Agency supports that as businesses gain more experience in green technology, the process becomes cheaper, contributing to SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. On the negative side is the burdening cost of Fonterra's transformation, which is estimated to be $790 billion, according to New Zealand Herald 2024. This is a significant financial burden which may disrupt Fonterra's operations. Another positive is that Fonterra is using two business-level strategies in unison, cost leadership and differentiation, by using green energy efficiency to reduce costs while enhancing brand image with sustainability differentiation. However, Fonterra could struggle to uphold differentiation as competitors may also adapt to green operations. Lastly, Fonterra's adapted strategy creates a pro conforming to the transnational strategy from the GILR framework. Fonterra is creating high global integration through this strategy by setting a target of net zero by 2050, encouraging and contributing to SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. Fonterra also ensures high local responsiveness by responding to local availability based on location, such as replacing coal with biomass at Southland sites, according to New Zealand Herald 2024. This allows Fonterra to improve the business over global operations. A con, however, is that not everywhere has great access to renewable infrastructure and/or energy. As for example, Minta Allison 2025 states that Northland lacks infrastructure for renewable energy. This would mean Fonterra may not be able to implement even solutions across all operations, weakening the company's strategy.
Businesses adopt sustainability strategies for several key reasons. These include meeting regulations, boosting their brand reputations, satisfying customer expectations, and achieving long-term cost savings. A prime example of this is Fonterra, of course, which we already know is set to receive a $90 million government subsidy to help transition away from coal, reducing its greenhouse gas emissions significantly. This aligns with both the government's climate targets and the company's goal to enhance its sustainability credentials. However, not all sustainability strategies are simple or immediately effective. The transition to renewable energy at Fonterra, for instance, requires substantial financial investment and a major overhaul of operations. This highlights the importance of businesses integrating sustainability directly into their core operations rather than treating it as a separate aspect of corporate social responsibility. It's also crucial for businesses to stay adaptable, regularly reviewing their sustainability strategies. Just as Fonterra must adjust its operations to meet new challenges and technological advancements, other companies should remain flexible to the changes in sustainability landscapes. Fonterra's collaboration with the government to fund this transition shows how partnerships with external stakeholders can drive innovation. Additionally, transparent sustainability reporting, such as using global standards like GRI, ensures that business maintain public trust, which is especially critical in sectors with significant environmental impact. In conclusion, sustainability should not be viewed as a strategic business decision, not merely a marketing tool. Companies like Fonterra, which are taking action now to improve operational efficiency through renewable energy, can build long-term resilience and secure a competitive advantage. As Porter and Kramer's concept of shared value 2011 suggests, companies that align sustainability with value creation tend to outperform others. Fonterra's efforts in reducing emissions and transitioning to greener energy sources align directly with sustainability development goals, such as responsible consumption, climate action, and innovation. Every company's path to sustainability will be unique, but those leading with sustainability at their core, as demonstrated by Fonterra, will be the best positioned for success. Thank you.